Yo, what's up, compadres? Welcome back to another episode. It's your host with the most from the West Coast, SB Press, reporting live from Mastermind Media. And to my right, Ilsa himself.
Yerp.
And also to my right, let him know what it is now.
The real Joe Rosati.
All right. And we got a special guest in the house by the name of Nick Ortega, and he brought us some gifts, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, look at this.
Yes.
Awesome. It barely fits in my mitts. I love it.
One sip and he's done, right? And like that, compadres, let's go.
All the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quit. Yeah, gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits.
What's going on?
Yeah, man.
How's everybody feeling today? How's everybody's week been so far?
Rainy.
A quick little wrap up. What everybody just got a little,
Oh, I'm good, man.
camera shy or something?
Yeah, no, camera shy. Come on now.
Okay, give him the eye.
I'm just still pissed off. I stepped in.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even want to. We're not. Yeah, and how
Joe's first pet peeve
that
happened
happened
to him
today with a pair of Jordans, of course.
I've been telling this man to look down forever, but see
Well,
what
I
happens.
told
He
you I
don't.
can't look down. So I mean, hey, it's we're here,
elaborate
and I
now.
got some fire, real
You gotta
fire.
elaborate
So
now.
yeah, give us the backstory on that.
My dog's getting old, and he decided to go ahead and do his business in the house. I went to the closet to get my beret, and next thing I know, I'm stepping in dog with my Jordans on
Oh my lord.
So you stepped in
my
your
own
house.
house with my dog.
So let me get this right, Joe. You stepped in Howie's,
Yes,
right? Kind of like Howie's, kind of like his play at the end of his career.
Ooh.
God, was it too soon? Are we going too soon?
Where were you when we're
All
trying
right,
to get
everybody.
the F-bomb?
Hey, go ahead and do me a favor. P, could you go ahead and introduce our guest?
Ladies and
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
after that hot fire, let's go ahead and bring in the man of the hour. I can't say too much, but I will say a lot. He is a UCLA alumni.
Yes.
Yeah, I say go Trojans.
What the
No
heck?
one's perfect.
No one is. No one is. Okay. Now you will be seeing him on your TV screens very, very soon on Bar Rescue. Yes.
Dope.
And also, I just want to say, he's a voice actor, so he has some voiceovers in a movie called Avatar.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch. We might have to get to that.
Okay.
We have to get to
So
that.
I want
Just a good
let's go
story.
ahead.
There's a good
Let's go
story
ahead.
to it.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Ortega. Thank you very much for being here with us today.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's a genuine treat.
No, treat is all ours. And we do have this segment that we call Let It Fly. Just giving you a brief synopsis of it. Gonna throw an image up here. No peeking before it goes up. Okay. And the first thing that comes to mind, just let it fly. And we'll just go down the row, throw some images at you and see how you feel about
And
that.
we do
Cool?
appreciate you being here. It's good to see my dear friend. You know what was it been twice in 2 days?
It's been twice in 2 days, and
Almost,
I
yeah.
haven't seen you in at least
Really?
as many years. It's been a couple years.
It's
I
been a
think.
couple years.
Yeah.
And Monday, I appreciate the hospitality, man. We have fun, have some drinkings, and
My pleasure.
And then
Somebody's been spoiled. Okay.
Yeah, but I also always find it funny. No matter where I go, no matter where I'm around Nick and these people I haven't met, Nick will always just do his Joe voice.
Joey, let's let it fly.
We so appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, thank you.
All right, what we got first, you guys? We have a job behind the scenes here. She's gonna
Yes.
put up some stuff on the screen here.
The queen behind the scenes.
It's a good one, huh?
Okay. You know what?
It's a good one, huh?
That's good.
That's a good soundbite,
good.
right? All right. Oh, okay.
Wasn't prepared for that.
Did I time that right?
Do you have Kleenex right now? I feel the onions getting heavy over here.
So there's a lot. I don't even know where to start. I'm just glad I made that Howie comment now. I don't feel bad about it.
That's
at
why
all.
it made it even better.
I don't feel bad about it at all.
That's why it made it even better.
Because that's the one. That's the one that the Bills actually had a shot to win. The rest of those teams, those
Right.
teams were just too good, right? I mean, the AFC at that time, and the Bills, the K-Gun,
Yeah.
with those guys, Metzelaars and Bill Brooks and Thurman, obviously, and all the namesakes of Bruce Smith and Andre Reed.
Right.
Those dudes were gangsters. Those dudes were built to play, but not built to play against the NFC teams that they were going up against
Absolutely.
at that time.
That's true.
But this game, that's the one that's still.
Kelly.
I'll just give you one of those, brother.
And if anybody doesn't know, Nick he's the biggest Bills fan I know.
Bill Mafia.
He's Bill, there he is, and he knows his Bills. So
This table looks like it could use a breaking. Never mastermind.
What you got, Pete?
I'm just gonna say a tragedy for you, brother.
Oh, thank
you know, I'm crying on the inside, for you, but I'm kind of laughing on the outside when I look at that. I see heartbreak. Just gonna leave it alone with that heartbreak, bro. Sorry.
And they were so popular at the time. I mean, I went to 4 Super Bowls in a row. Everybody, you know, they just ran up, unfortunately, against those Dallas teams that were tough and those other NFC teams, like he said. So, I mean, quarterback right there is solid. Hall of Famer.
Yep.
We know what time it is. What do you got, Joe?
You know, when I always see it and talk about it with people, because it's still talked about, and I've talked to Nick about it a few times, when we watch football now, do you really think it was just that field goal that lost them the game?
No, I can tell you what it was.
Yeah.
I can tell
See,
you
there
what
you
it
go.
was.
That's the whole thing. He gets all the backlash for the
100%.
you know?
Well, the notoriety is that they were raging the night before. Raging. Yeah. I mean, they were getting down things that I don't know if we can talk about on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
What can't we talk about on this podcast, though? Is it, we have a couple rules or anything?
No, we're good. No, go ahead. Yeah.
man, do
If you get into something I don't like, I'll tell you, take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Take a hike.
We're here to hear your story, brother.
Yes, sir.
Got time?
Okay, what else we got?
There's a theme here.
There's a nice
Well,
one.
we're doing a little bit today with the theme. We'll switch it up, but it's all football. We all know football in here, Nick. I mean, come on.
Good. We're in good company then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with brouhaha and a warlock. Jesus, right? I mean, these two, like I don't know if you got. I mean, these two, man, we got some witchery. We got some warlock craft happening. I mean, the one thing I was like, we'll never see another team go, over and over and over, break that four in a row streak. Yeah. This handsome, devil, which I mean, he is the GOAT, 100%. I would never take that away from him. He is the GOAT. He was what I think last year was given most valuable player amongst the players.
Yeah.
The players voted him that. To me, that was the end all be all, right? I mean, undeniably, if they're still saying it at this level and at that age and this part of his career, hats off. Yeah. And then the brouhaha, she hot. The brouhaha, she hot. That's what I got.
Nice. Man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I just got one center who requested a trade for sure. She didn't want to be hiking the ball to him anymore. And can't wait to see you on Fox, my guy. That's pretty much it. Or is he going to come out of retirement for those Niners? The world may never know.
What you got? Nick's was better. Yours I didn't like as much, but you guys all know I'm a Patty's fan.
Yeah, I know.
And I've been a Tom Brady fan for a long time, and sad to see how she played him. That's how I look at this photo, and I get it. He stayed in the game, and who's to say if he was neglecting his family or whatnot, whatever the reports are, but. It's just, it's sad to see a long marriage end like that.
Okay, I got to interrupt. Not the way he kissed his boy. Did you guys see that shit?
That was weird.
Dude, that's not neglect. That is, I don't know what you call that, but it made me uncomfortable.
That was weird.
Yeah, we can leave that alone. It looks like it's making you guys uncomfortable.
Almost a little bit more weirdo.
No, he's totally right.
Yeah.
I was, man. I mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing you can say.
What you got for us, Joe?
Well, Tom Brady, I think, he's got all those rings, and he had a great defense that took care of him. I guess he really didn't have it at home.
Are you feeling that?
Yeah.
Are you feeling that, Lance?
I do.
Shots fired.
I love it.
I think that's what really came down to it, and that's what it is.
So wasn't there a rumor that he invested a ton into crypto or some kind of currency, right?
Crypto,
and then that's when she pulled the ripcord and said, "Bye-bye, that was stupid."
Yeah.
Was that what happened?
Yep.
Or that's
Something
kind of
like
the rumor,
that.
right?
Allegedly.
I mean, other to
Allegedly.
be honest, I didn't really spend a lot of time watching that story. I had my own problems watching them. My Raiders piss all over themselves. So I didn't,
Well, she was the breadwinner in the family, so she stood the chance to lose. She lost the most money out of the whole thing. So
Oh, was that part of her?
yeah, they invested together. I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
Part of the onion.
Keep peeling those layers, brother.
Well, that's why she's sleeping with the
what is he? The trainer?
Jiu-jitsu guy?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yes,
Okay.
jiu-jitsu trainer.
Yeah.
And that's her new little fling thing.
The martial artist one.
Everybody can't have everything, man. You got what? You got all the Super Bowls, good looks, everything, all this money. So, like P said, I see you at Fox, my boy.
Seriously, man.
I don't have a mic, but she did ask him multiple times, "We need you at home."
Yeah.
And he refused to. Then retired, and then was like, "I'm kidding. I'm going back."
That's fair.
He should have been at home like she asked.
He double dipped
fair.
his chip.
If you're the
wasn't with
greatest of all time, it's hard to say I'm gonna come home. Like,
Yeah, no, I get that too. Mark, you got anything you want to belt out?
I freaking love it. Information.
Love it.
Sweet 16
That was
coming
perfect.
up,
That's funny.
right?
Yeah.
Sweet 16 coming up.
Love that.
Let's talk about that baby blue though, because the Bruins.
There you go, man. That's it, bro. I hope they win it.
Me too, Joe.
Guess I'm the only one who don't. Yes.
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's go.
Oh,
Oh yeah! Wow.
Oh boy. Okay.
This is.
Okay.
We have to be delicate here.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually going because this is about the indictment. Is that what we're looking at? Right. So I'm actually headed to New York on Sunday, and apparently that's where this is all happening.
Right.
I've been actually warned, like, it might get crazy. It might get crazy. To which I relatively welcome. I flow well. I flow well in chaos. So it's interesting, man. Man, I just can't help but think Oompa Loompa. Oompa D2.
He beat me to it.
Oh, now you're gonna have to come up with something new.
It's all good.
That's it. I got Oompa Loompa.
Aren't you glad that something's finally happening to him?
Aren't you glad?
Something finally caught up, and I never plan on anybody's downfall, but some light behind those dark things have needed to be shined on. Just letting that be known. What you got, Lance?
I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth.
I didn't get the memo.
No. I'm just joking. Look. I mean, he's such a divisive character, and and people love him, people hate him. All I can say is, hey man, let justice prevail.
For the people
Right.
at home, who are we talking about?
Absolutely, Donald Trump. So
I'm gonna say this: if it was anybody else that wasn't so recognized because he's a celebrity, because I still feel that everyone in Congress, everyone in the Senate, I think they're all crooks. I think all politicians are crooks, and I don't think it'd get so much media if it wasn't for him. So I hope you're safe out there, and that's all I really have to say.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not gonna
list
get too
is
deep
long.
in this. Yes, I'm not gonna get
That
deep into
list
this.
is long.
Yeah.
I do have a funny thing to say. Donald Trump asked to be handcuffed during the trial.
Wow.
So he can
Wow.
He requested.
And this is why we don't talk about politics on this show usually. So this is coming out from left field for having them up here. So
I'm glad
get
I
it,
could
yeah.
check that box. We did anyways.
yes.
One of the P words.
But look, hey,
We'll see what happens. Be safe out there, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
definitely,
Appreciate
man,
that.
be careful.
Appreciate that.
Man,
a lot
oh
to say
man,
about
oh
this.
man, oh
Let's hear
man. I'm
this.
glad.
I don't even have TikTok, and I hope some of this kind of unfolds organically as we talk. I'm the worst when it comes to social media. I'm the worst one of the worst self promoters. So I don't have a ton on this, except that this feels like potentially the first of many, right? So coming from that place right there to say, hey, we're banning this for the better of you. Since when have we ever banned
There you
anything
go.
on this, on these platforms? What's next? Is it this? And I know that's a 10,000 leagues away from this to this microphone and what you guys are doing so successfully here today. But where do we start to delineate? Where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
All I see is a lot of internal control going on with this. And that's just what I want to leave it at. This is about to get messy. Really
Well,
messy.
I mean, with the line in, you guys
Don't cross the line. You cross the line.
All right, so I'll say this. I think it's without involving politics, I'll say the platform is huge for a lot of people.
Right.
Right. The percentages aren't that cool, but still, it gets your name out there. And it's something that's a tool to be used, right? But at the same time, I agree. Like, if you're going to shut that down because of the way things align, then, what's next, right? Like you said, man, I mean, are we going to talk about Meta, Insta and all the stuff, WhatsApp, that I didn't even know Instagram owned. Mark told me today. Right. It's just like, where are we going to start and stop this line? So
it just goes back to what I discussed before. I mean, we live in a state where you can't smoke a menthol cigarette or make a sports bet.
Good point.
Okay? And we voted on this.
Yeah.
And I think it's absurd in a way. You should be able to do what you want to do, and especially with the sports betting the way it's been everywhere else in the country. Like I've talked about before, I can go on my phone right now and play TVG, which is the horses I can bet in Hong Kong, Australia, and I do it. So you explain to me how we're told what to do, and now you want to take that down? It's getting to the point where we just can't do what you want to really do, and they shouldn't force you to do it.
Fair.
So,
and in the world where we're legalizing so much, right? Psilocybin, marijuana, whatever it may be, the pick and choose is where it really starts to get me, right? And it feels like they're moving coconuts or maybe even just using the power of distraction, right? So when we have this power of distraction, are we focused on this because something else is happening?
Right. Yep.
Or is this just the planting of a seed for the bigger thing 10 years from now? When we start to see these things happen in front of us, the next big thing is not as big because this seed is already planted in it. We're like, okay, it's not so bad, right? But in 10 years from now, what is it, right?
What's going to be the next thing?
Maybe it is this, and we're like, well, whatever, right? It's maybe far-fetched still, hopefully, but it feels contrived. It feels very much like a magician's move.
Well, you see what they do with the what is it? Make sure I say it right. It's chat with CPT or.
Oh,
what a segue, right?
Yeah.
And I really
Lance went a little left field. They came right in the center. Huh? Okay.
That's crazy.
That's some fucking weird shit right there.
That's you kick off right now because you're already flowing.
Oh, wow. It's just, they're so hush on that. So, that, they see the potential and they're like, whoa. Even the AI, images that they put in there and it creates, it's crazy. Like, so, that direction, unfortunately, is not going anywhere. So you either get on the plane before it takes off or get left behind.
Right.
So, that's what countries and people are starting to do now. They're starting to think like, all right, so how can we optimize this as quick as we can and do as much as we can with it? But other countries are like, shut this down.
Right.
Give us back Vine.
That's it, man.
Give us back Vine.
Facebook is our only internet.
We got to do it for the Vine again, man.
Facebook is it.
Right, man.
Yeah, but
and that's continuously evolving as well.
Absolutely.
Well, how do you feel about this?
What's up, man?
So, I'll be frank. I don't know a ton about it other than what I've heard, say Rogan talk about it, right? And it's scary from what little I do know about it. And I'm not sure that I see the value in it, but not on a macro scale, right? So that's where I have a hard time really having a solid, informed, snapshot of it. Right. Maybe someone give me an elevator pitch on it, and then I'll give you a quick.
Read on it. Yeah.
Who got it?
Handle that.
I ain't got.
I'll give him elevator.
Actually do it.
Let's.
Yes.
That is a great
let's
idea.
exactly.
Actually, I know a little bit
Ladies and
about it, but
gentlemen.
watch this.
Okay.
I'll give you a quick snap.
Okay.
So basically, you can put whatever you want into
Yeah.
into it, and it'll basically just come up with
It'll generate multiple, and you
See?
pick the
a
litter.
topic
Watch.
that you. Yeah, here you go.
From whose lens?
From AI's lens, and they created the program.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll be honest. Sometimes you can't get in there because so many people are on the server, but they're just expanding it, and it's been like beta. Now it's
Yeah.
like on what is
And
it on
it's-
6 or 7 now, Mark?
And
Something
it's
like-
crashing.
We use it every day.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
So this is how it works, basically.
Gotcha.
You give it a prompt, and now they're starting to hire people who can input specifics so that you can get the best results.
Absolutely.
So you can do things as far as creating storylines, typing up an email. You can draft up a letter to your landlord, which is very accurate. So do you guys have a topic or something you want me to search?
Or contracts.
Like write a blank.
You know, someone told me to do this about horse racing the other day, and I said, "You're actually mind."
I like
Seriously.
the contracts idea too.
I kind of looked at it. It happened.
It can predict odds, right?
No.
No, okay. Is it not? Can you
It
put
can do
like?
possibilities.
So
High
can you do like
possibilities.
Lakers versus
Clippers.
who's that? Clippers or the like whatever's games tonight.
Game tonight is Phoenix.
Phoenix. Let's look really.
The Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns.
Who we got?
Charles Barkley.
One second.
That was Charles Barkley.
Yeah. The Phoenix Suns.
All right, so let's Phoenix Lakers, 7 p.m. 4.5 to the Lakers.
Come on,
no,
Lakers.
it's -1.5.
Come on, Lakers, man.
This thing is crazy, and you can like literally write up contracts to the T. Like people, college kids can write essays out.
Yeah, that's why they
the
want to take.
T.
That's why they want to take it away because everyone wants to be lazy.
All you
Yeah.
gotta do is
I mean,
prompt
it's
it.
already right. There's no going
no
to the
thinking.
library
No,
anymore.
there's no
Right.
thinking
There hasn't been
Anybody even
anymore.
have a green library card?
No.
Oh, I guess it's just
Oh,
me.
I do actually.
Yeah.
I still have mine. Yeah, I do have mine.
2 now.
It's from when I lived on Studio City.
Oh, there you go.
Vineland, shout out.
No, this thing is and it's just gonna get even crazier.
Endless possibilities. Endless. And it's just gonna it's in the beta form. So once it keeps on and keeps on evolving.
I'm really liking watching this text right now, but I've never been late to my work in my life. But whatever. Maybe I should just not show up sometimes. Boss about
This is it's really
no. This is really funny, bro.
Oh, this is interesting. Our viewers are going to be hooked still. This is crazy because a lot of them really don't understand. So many people don't have access to this,
Exactly.
right?
Well, how do you get
Look,
access to
see,
it?
there you go. Look.
Yep.
Stop it. Dear boss, I am writing to explain why Joe was late to work this morning. I must say it's quite an exciting reason. As it turns out, Joe went to the horse racing track this afternoon and ended up hitting the jackpot. What's that?
Can you read the prompt first?
Oh, sure. The subject, you mean, or?
The subject. Yes.
Yeah, the subject is Joe's late arrival at
The question.
the question. Write an email to his boss about why Joe was late to work because he was at the horse racing track betting and won. Make it funny.
Wow.
Subject line, and this is where it starts. Like they literally did the subject line as well.
Everything.
Everything.
Subject: Joe's late arrival at work. He was at the horse racing track and hit the jackpot. Dear boss, I'm writing to explain why Joe was late to work this morning. I must say it's quite an exciting reason. As it turns out, Joe went to the horse racing track yesterday afternoon and ended up hitting the jackpot. He was so excited about his win that he lost track of time and accidentally slept in this morning. I guess you could say that his horse was a winner, but his alarm clock was not. I know. Gambling is usually frowned upon, but in this case, Joe's little adventure paid off big time. He got a whole lot of extra cash in his pocket now, so maybe we can convince him to buy us all lunch or something. Ooh. That's not going to happen, Joe. After all, he owes us one for making us worry about him being late. Anyway, I just thought I'd give you a heads up about Joe's tardiness and the reason behind it. Rest assured, he is here now and ready to get to work. I'm sure he'll be happy to fill you in on all of the details of his big win if you ask him nicely. Thanks for understanding. Best regards.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
All right. Subject line. Oh wait, the question is what's write a one-line message to Joe's boss that he quits. Subject: Joe's resignation. Dear boss, I regret to inform you that Joe has resigned from his position. Best regards. This is fucking crazy.
Dude, that first thing you read, bro. Listen, I've been in management, and if I received something like that, I would be like, oh, okay.
You're not gonna know,
They're
right?
not gonna know.
So this is again that you said the lens is from an AI, right? Can you plug it and play? Can you plug it to play like the lens through someone? Yes. Like yes, you can't.
You could write your wedding vows in Shakespeare's voice.
Shakespeare.
And then the AI, and then if you team it up with
telling
the
you, man,
AI
it's nuts.
imager,
Like, it's making-
you can
Wow.
deep fake. I seen a Tom Cruise thing that looked just like Tom Cruise, and it's a regular YouTuber, and he did it looked like Tom Cruise, and he like totally deep faked the whole thing with this app, and then he had the AI app and the image app, it's insane.
Don't make anything organic anymore. Just get an app and do it, and that's how life is. It's unbelievable, bro.
So
Cheater,
what do you
pumpkin
guys
eater.
think? Like the big, I mean, selfishly, or I mean, probably small-mindedly, right?
Right.
Like the value is where intrinsically, right? Like where does it go macro? Where does someone genuinely go next level because of this AI? Because of this, I'm asking.
I think it's happening now.
Yeah,
I think
I think
people
it's been
behind the
Script
scenes.
writing?
Yeah,
Script,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
people are
that's the whole thing. It's making it easier.
incorporating.
But
Yeah.
see, that's making it easier
Plagiarism.
that anybody can do it.
Well,
I mean, I have someone writing a script for me right now, and it's taken her almost 2 months, and it's almost done.
wow,
That's just information that
this could have been done in an hour.
and they're incorporating their
So
business.
me and Mark
now.
talked about that too the other day, but
Wow.
there's nothing organic about it.
Right.
That's how I feel.
And are you guys exploring with that, playing with that?
We use it every day, all day.
Well, how do you guys use it for emails?
Yeah, we use it so you can even write something, and if it's not really,
Come on,
but we can use it.
Come on, bro.
Bring it.
Oh, did you have a mic over there?
No,
How much you
we'll
want?
just
Yeah, come on, bro. Come on.
Bring them on in.
Talk some, yeah, man. Come on, get in this camera,
So
bro.
Jai uses it very often, like within emails or like doing descriptions. We could do descriptions for people's like for their business on their website. But they're literally paying like jobs are like $250,000 to be able to use this properly to the best of its advantage. I just bought a prompt from a different company, like different prompts you can use to maximize its potential. But yeah, I was doing a pitch deck on this new show that we're doing a podcast for, and I wrote a little bit of a blurb, and I was like, and then I put it in there and said, hey, make this sound more intelligent and fix it for spelling and grammar, and then boom, and then I take that and then I can personalize it a little bit more versus racking my head or what
So
are
it's
top.
giving you the full template.
Oh yeah, like what are top, like 10 new topics we should talk about on the podcast? Boom, about sports or about this. So it's the beginning of this this new period of time, and we're taking advantage of it because it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
But if you use it properly, then you can stay ahead of the curve.
Is this do you have to pay for the?
Not for this version. We do have a paid version as well, though.
Yeah, that now since this platform has been used so much, it does crash sometimes and it takes a while. But
Thanks
there's a
for
new
this.
version that will have it to you a lot quicker.
A lot quicker.
I did throw up a new prompt for you guys, and I think this will be the last one.
A new prompt? Someone want to take over? Joseph.
Joe, read that.
I don't want to read that.
Read
I
it in
want
your
to start fucking
voiceover.
talking
If
some
I
shit.
would, but I kind of
And I
break
have
my
a
neck.
whole-
Well, I got a glare over
Go
here.
ahead, come
My
on.
dearest
You went
love.
Shakespeare.
No, I have a fucking.
Didn't you?
No, I don't want to.
Write
I
my
have
wedding.
a glare.
All right, here we go, Joe.
I can't see it.
I have this.
Write my wedding vows in the voice of Shakespeare and make it personal about her body. No way.
You got this.
You kidding me? I mean, this is like Roxanne with Steve Martin. Anyone remember? Or not? Yeah, Steve Martin. My dearest love in thee, I find a beauty that surpassed all other earthly treasures. Thy eyes, like jewels of sapphire. I have a little glare on here, so
Told you, I
I
can't
stand up.
see
Is that all right?
Of course you can stand up.
Doth shine with a radiance that illuminates my soul. Thy lips, like rose petals, soft to the touch, doth stir me in a passion that burns like a flame. But it is thy body, my sweetest fair, that doth enrapture my heart with a love so true and pure. Thy form, so graceful and lovely, doth move my heart to sing with joy. Thy curve, so gentle and sublime, doth make me tremble with desire. As I stand before thee on this day, I vow to cherish thy body as a sacred temple of our love. I will adore thee with all my being and honor thy every inch with a devotion so true and steadfast. With thee, my love, I am complete, and in thee I find my home.
That's a Shakespearean actor right there, brother.
And who
That's
will
a
believe
straight.
thee, Isabel?
Yeah,
bombs,
who would fuck? I mean, if you read that to a
dude.
woman, no, he's a Shakespearean actor. That's why I wanted him to do it.
He killed that.
He's a big Shakespearean actor. That's why I wanted him to do
The
it.
funny part was that little crickets that came on first.
Yeah, right.
Then it went to the shimmer.
That was little Jimmy jumping in there.
No, you
That's
killed that,
fire,
dude.
though, man.
Man.
I wanted Big Joe to get up there and do it, but look at him. Look
I know. Hey, I gave it to him because he's a Shakespearean actor.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
that was
you,
a.
man.
My pleasure.
Come on, man.
That's gonna be a clip for sure.
No,
For
no.
a
Hey,
fact.
come on, man. I lobbied that because now we can go into about him. I mean,
So,
he's
hey,
a
yo,
great
Nick.
Shakespearean actor. He was.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Still is.
get
He can
into
do
that.
whatever.
Lay up.
So, Nick, for the
No, no,
compadres
take us-
at home,
Oh, yeah.
please take us down, back down memory lane. Give us an insight on your upbringing and, how influential your family's been in your life and stuff.
How influential, or still how influenced is how I would describe it, right? I mean, they're still a part of my everyday. In fact, my sisters came up from Fresno, which is where I was born and raised, which is where I met Joe. You know, you could take the boy out of the no, but you can't take the no out of the boy.
Yeah.
But my sisters came up last Friday, and in fact, we shot a game show. I don't think I can say the name. I probably shouldn't.
Right.
But it's on the GSN network, so it'll probably air in a few months. Definitely can't say how well we did or didn't do, but it doesn't even matter because I have my sisters here. You know, like they got to come up. They're both incredible mothers of 3, incredible husbands. One is my sister-in-law, and then my real sister. And I can't tell you how often I talk to them, how much I wish I could spend more time with them. I'm the youngest of 4. So I got an older brother, older sister, oldest brother, and man, I'm nothing without them. And my mom, right? And my stepdad, who I call Pops, and my real dad, who passed away about a year and a half ago.
Sorry
all good. Thank you. It's a trip being the youngest one for so many reasons, right? The pecking order in my house was really my mom first, my stepdad, God bless that man. Like he took on 4. He took on 4. That's deep, right?
For sure.
Took on 4.
Right.
The youngest
Real
at that
love.
time was being 4 and 5, and he was such a great provider at the time. And then the pecking order was my mom. Like if I needed permission for whatever, started mom. Mom's wasn't there, went to Joe, my oldest brother. If Joe wasn't there, went to Shane, and then to Rob. And they all had a different perspective and a different yes or no or different way to say it. Right. And I got to be the benefactor of that, right? Because I was learning different ways of saying yes or no, or how to behave in public, or how to react, and all of those things. And I was, in retrospect now at 45, I got to be that sponge and inherit all of their bests. I like to think all of their best, and there's very little bads in them, if any at all, right?
Right,
like, so,
right, for
but
sure.
they're all different.
Right.
They're all so different, and they were so giving, and it was I never wanted for naught, even though we were on welfare growing up. I didn't know. Like I got my brother's clothes. I was like, sick.
Right.
Rob's clothes. Like I was eyeballing that shirt. I was eyeballing it.
Right. For sure.
I didn't know it was that a necessity.
grow out of that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, I never knew we were going. That we were having spaghetti again because it's cheap for noodles and at the time ground beef and onions and garlic. What more do you need, right? Like so, I didn't know bean burritos was poor man's food. I didn't know those things, and they never made me. I always was so. I was so covered. And I never knew harm's way was just around the corner because of that nest that I was fortunate enough to be raised in. So that's that snapshot of what my family has done and provided me and really has set the anchor on this spinning globe. To know that we all are that we have that, and I like to think, and I won't speak on their behalf, but I romantically believe that they feel the same way. That they feel the same way about our family. I always just we when my stepdad and my mom got married, we were living in a rough side of Fresno and I was going to a Catholic school at the time, and we moved from, it was kind of like a moving on up, but this was to the other side. And we moved to a nice neighborhood and a beautiful home. And again, I didn't know where we were coming from was rough until I got there. Damn. And then then you see the Christmases that these kids are having, and you see the the world that they're living in. And at that time I was like, damn man, we don't got that kind of cake. We don't have that kind of skrill. And then I'm working for my car at 13 when I was gonna get sick. I'm working. And it wasn't until probably late teens that my then best friend at the time, who had it all, right? Who had it all, said to me how jealous he was of me and mine, right? Mm-hmm. And I was looking at him like, you got everything, right? You got the Nintendos, the cars we get, all of the all the things, and it wasn't. And none of that meant anything to him. And good on him for having that perspective,
right?
Around that age too. But to flip my script and tell me, how special it was, what my family portrayed, and I guess just echoed to him was really mind opening at that time. So yeah.
Man, I know so many people out there right now feel what you just said hard, man, because that's the truth, man. Definitely. That's so cool, man. Awesome. What you got from Joe?
So when did you make the trip out here? And like, because I know everybody on here, we talked a little bit. They know that you're an actor and everything else. So what made you be inspired to be one, and then your trip to LA and all that adventure?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be on. I mean, as far as being an actor, around 2015, around 2015, I kind of hung that hat up for a minute.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So I like, and then I'm sure we'll get into the bar rescue thing. It's funny how life comes full circle, and TV found me. I didn't go finding TV, that's for sure. But so I was at Fresno State as a biochem major. I went. The rule at home was you could live at home.
Right.
You could live at home as long as you are going to work and you are going to school. That was the rule. And by the way, home, like I said, home was good, right? Like home was good. They didn't sweat me. I worked. I went to school. I didn't want to leave home. I wakeboarded 50 times a year. I snowboarded 30 times a year. There was good-looking women in Fresno. I didn't want to leave. Why am I going to go pay a rent? I actually slept in the garage. We had this cool garage that we built out into a room. I had my own entrance, so it was great. And I went to Fresno State because I was at Clovis Community, and the counselor brought me in and said, Nick, there's no more classes here at this community college. It's time to,
Moving
spread
on
your
up.
wings. 100%. So I was like, all right, I got to do Fresno State, but now I got to take it seriously because it was real money, right? It was real money, and nobody was paying my way. That's for sure. So. I got to Fresno State, and I'm thinking biochem. I'm thinking vet because we live in the Central Valley.
Right, yeah.
I had a lot of friends that were farmers, so I'm thinking I love animals. I could be a vet and take care of animals and farm all my farming friends and all that. That was where my brain was going. I hated it. Hated it, man. Hated it. Only thing that I liked was lab, but outside of that, man, I dreaded these classes. And I took you're gonna dig this. I took a black theater class, right? And I was thinking,
bro, I forgot about that.
This?
No,
Alice.
I forgot about. Oh my God, I forgot about
That's
that.
a surprise.
100%.
Holy shit!
But I was thinking by description, this was kind of like just history black theater class, right?
Right.
But I walk in there and I was the only dude that wasn't black in this class.
Besides who? Besides me.
Were you in that for a minute?
Yeah, bro. That's what we do. Remember we did that scene out in the courtyard
yes,
and that's what. Yeah, that was me and you.
But you were in this?
Yeah, bro. Yes. It was me and you.
We did not know.
I forgot about it till you just brought it up. It was me and you. You don't remember that?
That's it. Yeah, and then yes.
It was me and you and
Did
everyone
you stick
else.
it out that whole?
Oh yeah, bro.
Wow.
It was a trip, right? And by the way, nobody was part of the theater department. Like they were.
I was.
You were, yes. You were
I think there was a couple. There was no, because
there
Lionel
wasn't.
was in it.
I was.
He passed away, by the way.
Stop.
Yeah, he did. He passed away.
kidding.
Lionel was in that class.
Yeah, you
and
remember
I
this
think
better than I do.
there was a couple others or minors, but that class because and I got respect for T.
100%.
I still have T's number on my phone. I've talked to Thomas Ellis, was a professor at Fresno State. Cool. He went to abroad a lot of times to teach theater, and Thomas is also, he's a trip. I mean, he had a yellow Corvette, dude, with gold rims. Oh, wow. Okay, that's how he used to roll around. I mean, Thomas, he's a great actor. He's a great professor. Yeah, he got me into that class. Right.
Mama Rainey's
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Remember,
right.
I played the policeman in that
That's
one.
right.
Yeah, I was the policeman in that.
So this
theater
class was the
production.
tip of the iceberg for you?
Well, so the class wasn't so much theater as it was guerrilla theater, right?
Yes,
And that was what he wanted to do.
Right.
And I had never had really. I did improv in the 7th grade,
Right.
and and then a theater class my freshman year, and not again until my senior year. Which, by the way, it was either take theater or have an open period.
Theater.
No,
Theater.
I took the open period. I took it for half a semester, and I was like, no, I want an open period, right? So theater, I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it a lot, but it wasn't like, I've always been, I guess, comfortable, charismatic, loving. It wasn't until language that and partly this class, I digress. So. I start taking this class. We did this guerrilla theater, which was a blast, right? They would set up scenarios, and I didn't even know what guerrilla theater was at that time, right? The one that Joe's talking about, we went to the
Courtyard, dude.
food
I'm
court.
yelling at him. I got dude,
everyone was.
We yelled, yeah, but I went off on him.
Yes.
So y'all had some.
And like everyone was
jobs.
looking. They called the campus police.
Yes,
I mean,
they
the
did,
whole.
'cause nobody knew.
And Thomas is sitting on the side just looking.
And I mean, there was hundreds of people, and the scenario was that I had cheated on Brady,
Right.
that girl or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and then she kind of pushed me, I fall down. Everybody's like,
yeah.
And that's
YouTube
when
before YouTube.
Yes.
Right?
Oh no, I mean that's
Pranks
what it
before
is.
pranks.
That's what
Yeah.
girl theater is.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
That's
yeah.
right.
Bring back Vine.
That stuff started to like really pique my interest. Well, then I start thinking like I'm gonna take another theater class to lighten my load, right? And so I can deal with this biochem stuff. And as you heard, I kind of started relatively late, right? Like so I had, by the time at this point I'm 21, I should be graduating or close to it. I'm really a beginning sophomore, and I reached out to a very good girlfriend of mine, Allie, who passed this last year. And I was like,
Sorry to hear that.
Allie, thank you for, I was saying, Allie, I really love this theater class. She was at UCLA at the time as a musical theater major with an emphasis on opera singing. And
I'm sorry, man.
that's all good.
Brother. Take a moment.
Yeah, take a moment, brother. Show.
It's very inspirational, the man that we see today.
Absolutely. It's great, man.
So she was like, Nick, you always, I mean, she was like, she reminded me how pissed she was when I stopped in my senior year, right? And she was like, she goes, I want you to apply to UCLA. I had never had high school grades. Never had high school.
Right.
Grades. I was a stoner wrestler, right? You know, I was a good wrestler and definitely like to go to dead shows too. Right? So it was a weird dichotomy, legit. I saw 13 dead shows and 6 Jerry shows between 14 and 17 before Jerry passed. Yeah. That's a whole nother story. Man.
Of course.
My moms didn't know about that till not too long ago.
It's out there.
20 years later and shit, right? You might as well know what I did then. Enough time has passed.
So I was thinking, the UC system, first of all, not in the cards, right? Mind you, by the time when I went from community college, which I just phoned in, to state college, that's when I started taking it serious, right? Like I'm like 3.5, 3.7 GPA, and she's like, I want you to apply to UCLA, and I said, I don't have the grades, certainly don't have the resume for theater. She goes, just apply. Okay, so for the UC system, I don't know if it's still the same 20 some odd years later, but then you had to apply to the UC system, and then they reach out to you and ask for specifics. For UCLA, it was a letter of recommendation, personal 2 letters of recommendation, a personal essay, an interview, and an audition with a classical and a contemporary
it was
piece.
a lot to get that program.
All of that
100%.
is still the same.
Is it still the
Because when
same?
you went to
All
Fresno
that's still
State,
the
you didn't have to audition for shit.
No,
They just
you
let
just
you
go
in
and
and go
apply.
on,
That's
and then
right.
you go through the program.
Right. So so I applied to the UC system. UCLA says, yep, we want to do this, and you have to come to do an interview and this audition piece. I didn't tell anyone.
Right.
I didn't tell anyone. And I don't know if it was out of fear, but around that time is when I started thinking, I started writing it down, power of word, writing stuff down, believing, confidence, I journaled a ton then. So I really started transcribing, the journey on that. And I hadn't even done a real play yet, which was crazy. And the personal essay part was why UCLA, and I was like, why? Right? Like, why?
Right.
I don't have a hit.
Why?
So I got in my truck and I drove to UCLA for my first time, and I sat on the campus in front of the theater building, the McGowan Theater Building, and I sat, and they have these beautiful, they're called Kafir Boom coral trees,
Beautiful.
Kafir, right?
Absolutely.
And I had my first laptop, which was kind of new back then.
Right,
By the way,
right. They
laptops
didn't
in
have
the
a
early
lot of
2000s,
laptops back
right?
then.
Yeah. It was heavy
Yeah.
and big, and I said, why UCLA? Well, I'm sitting here in front of the McGowan Hall, in front of these naked Kafir Boom coral trees, and I start typing away. Why would I leave Fresno when I'm snowboarding 30 plus times a year? My friends, my family, wakeboarding, and a good job, and why would I do that? And then I started putting why I would do that, because I forgot what it was like to dream. I forgot that I had this dream. I forgot that it was inherent in me too. That I love language, right? That's where I get fueled and passionate about. So, that's what started pouring out of my fingers. And I go home and I send this to Allie, by the way, who helped me with this entire process. I sent her to her. She's like, I hear your voice. But we need to clean this up. Right? Yeah. We need to clean this up. She helped me clean it up, submitted it. Then I come back for this interview and this audition, these pieces. And I was one of 28 out of tens of thousands of applicants because they auditioned in San Francisco. They auditioned in Chicago.
It's a huge program to get into.
York,
I mean, it's one of the best.
Yeah, around the world. And they brought in 28 of us. Yeah, 28. And that's when I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm supposed to do, right? To one of 28, or and at that school at that time, and so that was the journey to get in there. Yeah. And 2 weeks before flying out or going down, I found out I was going to be a dad.
Oh, wow.
I was going to be a dad.
And now when we go into that subject matter, and for the audience, I know this. Nick Ortega is my family. I've known this man a long time, and I know a lot about him. He knows a lot about me. Now that he is talking about being a father, I want to go into your growth. And when I talk about growth, and I talk about a lot on here about growth, about growing and everything, from where you came with that situation to now, brother, it touches my heart every time, man, because I'm so proud of you and what you've accomplished when you've gone through with that whole situation. And I know we talked a little bit off of camera about that, and that's the truth, bro. Like, what you've done with the circumstances given you, I know what you just would hid. You went like this and took care of business, and look where you're at now. I'm very proud of you, man. So
thank you.
Go ahead and tell the audience. You can get in the story about about your son.
Yeah, it was. I found out 2 days before my 23rd birthday that I was going to be a dad, in 9 months.
Young.
Yeah, and so when I got to UCLA, I was looking around. And my
did you notice right there? He was like, dumped it up, right?
I did it. Go bananas.
That's right.
That's right.
I just remember like, I actually moved into the most coveted space in all of Westwood.
Oh, dude,
called the Treehouse,
bro.
Look, I bet
bagging them,
I imagine that
dude,
I imagine that there's listeners that still know about the tree. In fact, I just was talking to one of the showrunners at this thing we filmed the other day for the game show. And she went to UCLA, and I was like, I lived at the Treehouse. Lost her mind, right? She graduated like yesterday, and she heard about us 20 years before, because when we moved in this building designed by John Lautner.
Okay, so this is the Treehouse.
This is the Treehouse.
Okay.
John Lautner was Frank Lloyd Wright's only apprentice. For those of you who don't know, Frank Lloyd Wright is the most prolific architect that deals with like, I don't know, naturalism, right?
Absolutely.
Like using the trees that are around it, not messing with it, using the contours of the land, etc. So that's Frank Lloyd Wright.
Several states.
Yeah, he is the guy, and John Lautner was his only apprentice, who designed this building, which, by the way, is, to my best of my understanding, doesn't have one 90-degree angle in the entire complex. So it's all symmetrical. It's kind of 45s, just super funky. It's like a historical state recognized building. And we moved into the top penthouse where Zsa Zsa Gabor apparently used to live. Jim Morrison spent some time in there, right? Ooh. And I didn't find this out until later. That by the way, I found out about this place because of Allie Reed's brother, Trevor. Shout out to you, Trevor. To Trevor, because he knew these dudes that were moving in there, and those dudes, man. I probably shouldn't give a name drop, but I will say this.
Already did.
I will say, well, with Trevor, that's crazy.
Keep it coming.
But there was this dude who shall, for this point, remain nameless, but man, so eccentric and so brilliant. All of them brilliant people, by the way. Brilliant. And there was 9 of us living in this one space. So 1, 2,
bro, this house was
bedroom,
dope, bro.
4 bedroom, 3 bath. And so these two came masterminded. Shout out. Masterminded this opportunity to buy out a sorority that had it on lockdown. So when the senior girls would live there, when they graduated, they'd bequeath it to their juniors coming up.
Oh, wow.
Well, these two cats said, hey, we're going to buy the exiting senior girls out. and then that way they'll take over the lease, right? And so they paid them X amount in cash.
Right.
I think it was like $3,000 or something like that. And these two girls split the money and ran and just screwed.
Just let y'all have a spot.
Yeah, it screwed the girls that were coming up.
Wow.
Now this dude, this eccentric guy, had always fantasized, and he was very Italian, first generation American. He'd fantasized about kind of like Joe, big old Goomba in his tracksuit. He'd always fantasized about
With dog.
Nah, keep your story around. It's funny.
He'd always fantasized about doing a money exchange with a duffel bag, right?
Right.
So he gets this $3,000, and the duffel bag was too big for the small amount of money, right? So he was like, I can't do this because there's just not enough to fill up the bag. So he goes and gets $3,000 in ones.
Wow.
That's still not enough. So as the story goes, he cut newspaper to fit the size of ones and bundled it up so his duffel bag would be full, right? And he comes to these girls with $3,000 in ones and newspaper clippings, and they're like, "What the?" But they took the cash. We got the space. Where was I going with it? I know, right?
Original duffel bag
The
boys.
original duffel bag.
For real.
And I'll tell you one, because like we moved to LA about the same time. He went to UCLA, and then I was coming out here to start my career. And I'd go out there. I went through that house several times, and he was having this big ass party one time, dude.
Always.
I go over there. I left early. Dude, I circled like miles away from his house for 45 minutes, and I called him. He goes, Joey, I'm sorry. I mean, there was nowhere to park.
I was gonna say.
You couldn't find anything, bro. And this was before Ubers and everything else.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I mean,
Taxis
dude, and
and-
I just saw the treehouse. You look from the street. I'm like, damn, bro.
I could be up there right now.
No, they're just raging up there, bro.
We would have, so it was, like I said, it was symmetrical. So you would have a building kind of stacked across from each other and then stacked up with their own roofs, and we would have a keg either on the roof or in the other building, and a band on the roof, and we lived across from Frat Row, so we were like Revenge of the Nerds. We were Revenge of the Nerds that were
only
theater
imagine.
majors and lawyer majors, and across was the frat dudes, but we always threw the right parties.
You had the dopest you had a dope spot. Like,
The
I mean,
dope-
come on,
still
man.
coveted, I'm telling you, man.
And
It's-
this is all moving to UCLA, and you find out you have your son.
So that's where I was going with this, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we're gonna get back with
Before
that
the
story.
Treehouse of Horror.
I was tripping because, my 8 roommates that I had were worried about what time The Simpsons come on or how much Halo we could get in. Halo was brand new, right? And then their schooling. And I'm looking at it going like, I got 8 months to get this, get this going. I didn't even tell them I was going to be a dad. I internalized it. I don't think I even told my mom for, I think I left and then came back and told her. And, I kept it tight. Very tight, just because it was a lot for me, as it would with anyone. But here I was thinking, I was very young, but I was thinking like, I had a different vision, and then this happened, so I just needed to get right with me. And I think what that meant was I've always dealt in general. I've always dealt with big chapters in a productive way.
Right.
I went agro exercise, agro school, agro everything, and that was probably the most. By nature, I'm a moderate. I moderate everything, but that was around the one time where I went to the wall, right? To the wall, and looking like it was a brick wall. I'm gonna take it down. And because I knew how much fatherhood meant to me,
Right.
I knew how much family meant to me, right? I knew that I needed to, and he became my motivation. He became my inspiration. He became, people that were worried about Halo and almost, similar parallel sentiment with my theater classmates. They hadn't lived yet. I'm living now, and that's not to take away from anyone's their
own
personal
journey
life
and everything else, right?
And for me, I was it's such in the throes, and it resonated. It resonated not just in myself, but it echoed to my classmates. They felt me. They felt something different, And I think that because I could point at so many things where we created incredible chemistry because of my motivation and inspiration. My professors, there was something there. There was something tangible with that excited energy, with that need, that necessity to to know that I was going to be a dad, right? And it was good. It was good, and I was so, today and even in the moment, I was so glad to see myself handle it that way, right? And to use that energy and harness and focus it in a way that propelled me, I lean on that today for anything that comes up in life, man, because there was a lot of bridges that were breaking and crumbling in front of me for whatever reason, and I was mending them as they were trying to crumble below me, and it has served me so very well.
Right.
It has served me so very well.
Learning lessons.
Yeah,
Very big.
100.
Especially with
Ooh,
me,
you got
man.
me warm,
Yeah.
Joe.
I guess they'll do that to everybody.
It's beautiful, man.
It's those baby blues,
That was
Joe.
very helpful, man. Seriously.
No, man. We started this podcast for stories like yours and things, that you've been talking about. And, we want everybody to relate to what, we are on. And we love to hear stuff like this, man. So, yeah, man, it's awesome for you to come on and open up and do what you need to do. And, man, I think it's a form of therapy. We can,
Fair.
This platform could be, something
very
of
true.
that
Right.
nature,
Everyone's trials and tribulations can help.
Right,
You
I mean,
We all have
each one
them
can
too.
teach one.
Absolutely.
That's the straight up truth, Pete. I mean, that's just how it is now,
Yeah,
Yeah, and these kinds of platforms, yes. I duly recognize that. So thank you for, again, not just having me, but for providing it for so many. It is it's so special to have, to provide that for people. I'll circle back real quick to what we were just talking about.
Absolutely.
I realized, I think then, and conversation happened relatively recent that reminded me of this with Joe the other night on Monday night. I didn't realize that I was playing the long game, right?
Yeah.
The long game.
No, I mean, that's what it really came. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I went to SF a couple weeks ago, and the Uber driver, young cat, making content, doing Instagram, trying to create media for people and being a consultant, et cetera. And I don't know, he overheard me on a call or something, and he got off, and he was like, "What do you do? Like, it sounds like you're buzzing. And you got like you're cooking on, firing on all cylinders." Right. And so we, got past that, and he said, "Well, what do you think? How'd you get here?" He goes, "Everyone tells me, be consistent, be consistent." I said, "Without a doubt, be consistent, right? You got to be consistent, but also think about that long game."
Yeah.
So consistency is only good, but what happens in 6 months? You're not being consistent anymore. Consistency shouldn't be, I'm going to be consistent for 6 months, so that in a year from now, X job comes, or I get to this goal. The consistency should be that, in 10 years from now, you're someone that you didn't get the job from today sees you 10 years from now and being like, you're still doing it. You know how much better you got to be at what you're doing from 10 years in the past, how much more you've probably grown. So consistency isn't just, every day putting out content.
Truth.
Consistency is growing that. And then there's your word, Joe, right? Growing that so that, you become
This guy is ridiculously good, man.
But the recipe.
Man, I
going.
told you I
Giving us
wasn't
the
bringing.
recipe.
I told you I wasn't
bringing no
behind the scenes. So yeah, please
man,
keep
dude,
on.
I'm
right
telling
now,
you,
Putting the
man.
light in them. You putting the compadres at home on some real game right now.
bro.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm not sure how much more to go with that,
No,
but
keep
that's
going.
it, right? Just so when you get to being a very sharp piece of steel, right? So that because you have been laying that good, consistent, and growing every bit along the way.
I have a question for you. I haven't asked you anything yet. I want to ask you, what are some tips, advice that you would give to young, new entrepreneurs that are starting in this game? They're trying to figure out their, path in this, and something that outside of the, niche or whatever it is. What are some opportunities or some advice, tips that we give somebody?
Specialize initially, I would say, is my knee-jerk reaction, right, to that. Specialize in something. Coming out of UCLA, I think in retrospect, I was like, yeah, I could play a New Yorker, I could play a Latino, I could
That's
play
right.
a buttoned up collar, I
Yep.
could do it all. And while I very well, with humility, probably could have specialize, right? So if I had just said, you know what, I'm gonna play Ortega, and I'm gonna go straight Latino, and I'm gonna specialize on that, because thinking maybe giving myself too much credit, then I was like, no, I can do it all. Specialize, right? So if it's acting or if it's whatever craft you're going into, specialize. Be the master of that. Be the master so that you can really hang your hat on that and say, this is where I thrive. This right here. The rest will come, because if you genuinely do have the skill set to do X, Y, and Z, that'll come once someone sees how competent, capable, consistent you are with that specialty. If you can do that, then people are going to give you the opportunity to stretch in whatever capacity.
Message.
All right. I got one more good one. So like, all right, so a lot of people struggle with this, and you know, everybody listening at home and stuff, and I think you could help out. So like owning a room, right? When you walk into a room, stepping in and saying, you know, and you know, dominating the conversation, and you know, and really honing in on your skills to speak to people. What was that process like, and how does that work for people that are just starting out, that are scared, that are nervous?
Man, just the opposite is my instinct here, right? Just the opposite of that, and that is listen.
Gotcha.
Stop talking. Stop talking. This is the first time I've ever emoted and said all of these. This is my first podcast. I've never done this before.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's I've never consistent. I've never talked this much, especially about myself, ever. And that's because
That is some straight up right there.
that's because listening, man.
Yeah.
Listening is the way. Because when you listen, that's when you genuinely get to take in the room. You want to take in a room. You want to know what the room is, head on a swivel without them knowing it, right? Hold your cards close, but take in the room, actively listen, see where your opportunity is organic and real, right? So, man, everybody loves, you know, to talk, and they will give you the information that you in turn can chime in and all of a sudden be part of that room, if not the centerpiece, depending where you want to be, and everything in between. But listening, right? I think the buzzword is active listening, right?
Right.
Active listening. I told you this the other night, Joe.
yeah.
Like I was saying, Joe, you couldn't get a word in anyways years ago. But Joe is listening, right? Like this is part of finding his groove, right?
Yeah.
And then creating that real diatribe. Because we're always on the precipice of saying, "Oh, I know what I'm gonna say next. Oh, I know what I'm gonna say next."
See,
Quit. Put that voice away for a
no,
minute.
that
right?
that had to go. Yeah, I mean that's some.
Not just you, Joey.
No, but I
I'm
mean
glad you said that.
it's the way it is. Like I talked to you about my old acting teacher. Intuition. Don't think. Let it go. Come with your thoughts. And sometimes it gets me in trouble. Because when I listen, then I'm like, oh, fire. Go off on instincts,
Yeah.
and you can't always go off on instincts because they get you in trouble sometimes.
Which goes into my next. You're either listening to understand or listening to respond. So
I mean, it's a very hard thing to figure out, you know. But I don't.
It's not a figure out. It's a practice.
No, it is
Right?
a practice. Yeah, no, I
practice,
get
right?
that. No, I
It's-
agree
it's
with you on
something
that.
you know,
I agree with you on that.
you gotta just always and it's so easy to just steer from that path and be like, okay, I know how I'm gonna respond to that.
Right.
And so you got to coach yourself. and be
Exactly.
like, shut up.
Yeah.
Just listen. Somebody
Giving
is
us time.
talking right now.
Exactly.
It'll come back if it's meant. If it's natural, it'll come back and it becomes,
Right.
you know.
I got a good feeling that we are going to have you on.
yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have you on again,
Again,
definitely.
several
And I know
times.
we're getting
And-
close, and
we got the first little bit
Right.
of it.
This is definitely a part
Yeah,
one.
and
Yeah, but we went over on this other with all this.
But
we need a
we're
nigga
gonna
saga.
get.
But we need to get into bar rescue.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to hear about bar rescue
Yes,
before we
yes,
get off.
absolutely.
And I want to know how that happened, because when we did talk the other night, and I was just like, dude, how do you? Because I was telling him he should get back in the game, because he is Paul. I've seen him when we worked together. We worked on auditions together. We were very, very close doing all that. he should be acting. I want to hear how he got in, how this fell into his lap, because that's
Right. After everything displayed, I second that.
He just read all
No,
that.
that's why I gave it to him. The dude's an actor, bro.
Kidding me?
Shakespeare and all.
Man,
Articulate.
Listen, this bar rescue thing is a trip, because it was, I think, probably like 2010. I was running a bar in Hermosa Beach, and I was doing it myself and a good friend of mine then at the time. And he went to Vegas to the bar convention, and him and his very, very good friend then, they see this guy preaching about bars and bar programs and all this stuff. And so they approached him and said, hey, we got a TV show concept for you. It's called On the Rocks. We want you to be the star of it, and we want to shoot you as a sizzle reel. Wow. Dude's like, yep, sounds great. So they come to Hermosa. We shoot a sizzle reel where everything is, as you know, doctored, right? To make up happen.
Right.
And I was the bartender, and I'm stealing from the register, and I'm picking up on his wife at the bar, and they're filming it, and then turn it black and white, and then we're all standing in a line, and this guy's like, you were fucking stealing, and you were picking up on this lady, and you know, telling the waitress, you were eating French fries and all these things, right? And from the people's food, and I'm like, you know, what, you know, off, and you're fired, and I leave. That sizzle reel, they went and pitched it. They loved it, and they said the only thing we're going to change is from On the Rocks to
Bar rescue.
Bar Rescue. Now, fast forward,
History.
Right? By the way, I never watched an episode. Kind of thought reality, probably doing what we did for the sizzle reel. So I was not a huge follower at the time. And then we fast forward to about 2 years ago. Just shy of 2 years ago, and a friend of mine who used to be my neighbor thought I was still running bar programs. I haven't been behind a bar since 2015, probably 2014, 2015, but he's like, hey, would you consider being the lead mixologist for two giants in the industry? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Right. So I take the meeting. It's a Zoom meeting because it was like kind of during COVID, and these two giants turn out to be John Taffer from Bar Rescue and Robert Irvine of Restaurant Impossible, where they're going up against each other in as kind of like a pilot for Paramount Plus. And I get it. I take the meeting, and I get the job, and I go to the first day of the first set, and Robert Irvine's there, and John Taffer's there, and I go to introduce myself. The thing was, I was supposed to be neutral because there's no better mixologist on this side or no better mixologist on that side. So I go introduce myself. Robert, John, my name's Nick. I'm going to be your mixologist. And man, I kind of got the snub, right? They're like, these two giants, like, who is this guy coming up, mixologist? And fast forward to day one of filming, and Taffer pulls me aside after the first take, and he goes, would you consider doing Bar Rescue? Just like, hell yeah.
Jack and a crack.
Right?
Hell yeah.
So I shot 3 of those episodes where John went against Robert. We shot those, and then I did 4 episodes last year with Bar Rescue, one of which airs April 2nd, Sunday. So this whole new season is out right now, so you can catch the newest episode April 2nd. I got another one that's going to be airing, in high hopes I get to do some more this year.
Oh, you will, and we will be watching.
Heck
for
yeah.
sure.
I'm sure we will,
April
bro.
2nd.
Catch up or stay lost in the sauce.
What is it? Is that True TV? What is it?
That's Paramount.
Paramount
Paramount
Plus.
Plus. Gotcha. Sorry
Paramount,
about that.
actually. But you could I don't think you were able to catch the new season on Paramount Plus. It'll be on Paramount this Sunday.
The live.
actual,
Gotcha. The airing. For sure. Man, wow, what a story. I come on, Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
I watched a million.
Oh, by the way,
Please
where I was
say
going
more.
with this stuff is legit. Right, like if I was watching it in the past, and you see like a POS system drop or something fall off, or the glasses are breaking in the wet, whatever it is, I would have been 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'd been out of stage. Right,
That's staged.
No,
This is all real deal now. Huh?
This stuff, I mean, you can't write this stuff. I mean, the people that are running these places and turning them into sinkholes, right? Like, they just don't know how to run good businesses a lot of the time.
Well, what I thought was great the other night is, and it was funny, I was talking to my boy, and he goes, where'd you go in Redondo? I don't know. He goes, what do you mean you don't know? I don't know. I was Nick, and we were just going. We rolled up to the last bar, and we were in the car, and I'm like, well, that's out of place. That's out of place. We're doing it like, I'm sure now everywhere you go, you kind of do look at it that way, right?
I can't help it. I've been in the food and beverage industry since I was
you can
14
see
years
it a
old.
mile away how they do everything. That's great.
You're
That's
basically
great.
an inspector the moment you get in there, huh?
100%. It's, I mean, you take in a room, right? Just
those two characters back and forth too. John Taffer, it's so funny. He definitely.
Yes.
Go ahead and
That
pray
question
for you.
I asked you, he owns the room when he walks
Oh
in.
boy,
right?
that's a different kind of owning for sure. Man. That is coming and
I
demanding
can
that
imagine.
presence. Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I can only
Yeah, yeah.
imagine. Man.
Oh, man.
Yep.
What a great episode.
Nick,
man.
I can't say enough.
Please, part 2. Can you?
Seriously.
Yeah.
We compadres will have him back for part 2.
Nick, you're gonna come back, right?
I'd love to come
All
back.
right, you got it.
If we
Thank
can work
you.
your
I
schedule
can't believe
out,
it's been
man.
an
Yeah,
hour.
dude. I know.
Quick.
Man, there's more to your story to unfold, and I'm sure there's more that can help the listeners at home.
Absolutely.
For sure. And compadres, you know what to do at this point. Go ahead and follow at COMPODRES. And to my right, Ilson himself.
I am _ill son.
And also to my right,
The real Joe Rosati.
he announced it, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what it is.
Hey, but
Can I give you a gift before I get out?
yeah, but I also wanted to let's do a little motivation thing. Each one spit out one real quick. Why not?
Well, let's play his role here.
Uh-oh.
meant to give this
Someone
to you earlier.
came with gifts.
Mom always told me not to come empty-handed.
Fever tree.
Appreciate
Oh, I
it.
like the key. That's dope. I'm gonna
This is
use
who is
that.
paying
Now,
the bills today.
real quickly, give the audience at home a little background of this fever tree.
Well, if 3/4 of your drink is mixer, mix with the best. Yeah, I mean, look. So Fever Tree is Fever Tree. It's 20 some odd years ago. People were debating. It's got to be Kettle One. It can't be Grey Goose. So it's got to be Ford's Gin. It can't be Tanqueray. And then you bastardize it with the gun, with high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors, preservatives. Go down the list, right? So, 20 some odd years ago, Tim Warlow and Charles, they started Fever Tree, creating the best tonic on the planet, which has real quinine from cinchona trees, and that's a whole nother story. I know we're running out of time, but they created this brand, and the idea is to there you go. The idea,
that tonic going.
That's right. The idea is to elevate and serve those spirits where people pour in so much love and legacy into their spirit. So why would you screw it up with all the things that I just listed before, right? And so this brand has quite literally taken over the market in this premium mixer space, and it's not me. It's not me plugging a brand, because this brand doesn't need me, right? This brand is something that is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I simply get to be the conduit and put it in front of people and increase people's experience and create real brand affinity. And then along the way, the margins come with it. The money comes with it too.
Right.
So
Speak for itself.
Nice.
A little alcohol level too here.
there you go. Yes, sir.
Can you also let the compadres at home know where to find you? Instagram handles and everything.
Instagram, like I said, I'm the worst, but I'm trying to get better about it. Right? But
It's fun, bro. You should get involved with it.
I
Believe me.
know, I need to be better. But it's Nick's Drinks, NIX.
Gotcha.
Very
See what I
nice.
did there? It's a little.
Very nice.
Well, you can go to Google. You can go.
Let's rock that out today.
Put in Nick Ortega. You'll find
All right.
what he's
you will
doing.
see this awesome individual.
Don't let him do that to you.
Right. Man, I can't say enough, but you already know compadres like that. We're gone.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better